God is gender fluid. Okay, God is gender fluid. I'm sure somebody else besides me has said that before, but it's true. That's what God and Goddess is. There's no place where the God stops and the God starts. It doesn't exist. There's one mind, there's one power in all of the universe. If there wasn't, there would be chaos in the universe because there's only one intelligence. You want to know where the intelligence of magic lies? Let's find. I'll introduce you to it in case you don't know who this is. Okay, so close your eyes for a moment, and if you're listening to this podcast, don't do this if you're driving. Take a moment and feel your heartbeat. Tune into your heartbeat and tune into your breathing. And I want you to get behind the heartbeat. Recognize that there's a power that's beating your heart. That power is you at your core, and that power is connected to all life. It's the same power that allows the planets to revolve around a sun, that creates a baby from an embryo. It's the same life force that's in everything in the entire universe, and there's only one. It's an intelligent life force because it knows how to beat your heart. Imagine anytime you've cut your finger and how that wound healed. That same intelligence is the healing of the entire universe. Okay, you can open your eyes if you want to. Now, that is God that you just introduced yourself to. Now, God is, like I said, is gender fluid. God is the mother and God is the father. And we see in this room, you're there and you're there and you're there, and I'm here and you're there and you're there and I'm here, and this chair is here, this couch sofa is here, and my legs are here. It's all separate. But there, what you just experienced was there was no separation. There was no part where you stopped and I started, where the God stopped and the Goddess started. It's all one. All religions are one. And that's why we can say without a shadow of a doubt, when you understand that all of us are related. All of us are one in spirit, right? So, is the spirit guide separate? Probably it can't be because there's only one mind. So on one level, so a spirit guide, the higher you go up into, again, the higher you go up on the ladder of life, the ladder of perfection, the less that you perceive separation. And the farther you go into the world of matter, the more you perceive in separation. And that's what you were talking about with denials. The reason why a denial works is because I can say, because I've experienced life where there's only one, that any appearance of separation is not real in the truest cosmological sense, even though I know it's real in the physical world. But I can say with authority, anytime there's illness, that is not real. And anytime I see poverty, I can say that is not real. I know that that's true. How do I know that that's true? Because anything that can go away and that will go away is not real. And the only thing that's real is that what you just experienced there. You can call that infinite love. You can call that infinite intelligence. You can call it God. You can call it Goddess. You can call it Spirit. You can call it anything you want. You can call it It doesn't matter, because it's not what the name is. Because even the speech, the naming of something is a separation. It's an artifice, right? So on one hand, from one perception, yes, you have a spirit guide, and they are separate and distinct from you, and they are a teacher. And on another hand, on another level, when you get to where the spirit guide is, if they are real, then they're in a place, if they can really teach you something spiritually, where there is no separation. Therefore, they must be your higher self, right? It must be your superconscious mind in reality, even though dogmatically that may not be true. even though in our, not our, but in any system that may not be true. Somebody may not like to say it that way, but how could it be anything else? How can it be anything other than that? So your superconscious mind is the part of you that you just saw in there, that you just experienced in there. And the personality which you are is the person that you started to become again when you opened your eyes. That personality is going to die. It may die tonight. The body is going to die. The world is going to go. This earth will be gone one day. You know, the sun is going to be gone one day. But the life principle will never die because it's eternal. It can't. Because there's always going to be life. You can't. So that's why I'm saying there can't be two powers, because there would be chaos. How could there be two? That's why the whole idea of people being afraid of the devil, I feel so bad for them. How can something oppose good? There's no such thing. Now, there can be the appearance of evil, right? There can be the appearance of evil, but what is that? It's something temporary, therefore it can't be real. That's why when we say evil doesn't exist, it's not that we're making light of a negative experience. It's not that we're trying to deny that someone's in pain, or that someone's got a disease, or that somebody's mourning the loss of a loved one. All of that's very valid in this world. But in the scheme of things, it's not real, because we know that will end. Anything that will pass can't be real. So doesn't that feel safer to know that? Well, that's where your power to do magic is in that safety. Because if you're going to your altar freaked out about your problem, what are you going to probably conjure up? Problem, right? You're going to get your problem. So what do? We connect with that power, that magical force that's within us, so that we are doing our magic. That's what we might call high magic. We're doing magic from our higher self, because we recognize that there's a life force, there's a life principle that is infinite intelligence, and infinite intelligence has infinite order, right? If your body is out of order, then that's disease. So healing is usually the infinite intelligence putting it back into order. Anything in the universe, anything in nature that seems sometimes like a catastrophe is really the reordering of things. And sometimes it's annoying, because it's like, I'd like this body, please. I'd like to keep this body, please. But sometimes when the balance is so far off, the reordering seems like very catastrophic. So that's got to be something that we're very aware of too. That's why I say working within your sphere of influence is so important, because if you are powerful enough to go way outside of your sphere of influence to get something that's way far away from what you already know, it can be extremely catastrophic, the results that you get. Does that make sense? When you are doing a spell for something, and you are asking for something that is so far away from what you're used to, the reorganization that will take can be extremely painful, which is why most of the time the answer is no. And then let's go smaller. Let's start smaller.
Isn't that kind of like when somebody wins the lottery and they're not prepared for it?
Yeah. It's a good example. When somebody wins the lottery and they're not prepared for it, they're always going to go back to what their habit patterns are. If they always had debt, they're going to be in that much more debt, because they have that much more debt to get. That, I don't know if that helped you with the spirit guide question or not, but yes, there's one mind, and even in your own superconscious mind, which is very connected to all, the one mind, that's where your spirit guide lives. So on some levels, yes, it needs to present itself to you in certain forms. And but that doesn't necessarily mean that those forms are truly what the spirit guide is, but that's what's working best for you. I don't necessarily think your spirit guide is a wolf, but if it presents it to you as a totem animal of a wolf, then that's probably for a very important reason. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it is a wolf.